Hello, superfans. Welcome to Alberta News and Views. The legendary Larry Brock brings the heat once again to the Standing Committee on Public Accounts. We are continuing on with the ArriveCan Scam app reports. This is report 1 with the Auditor General, I believe. That's what they're talking about here. This is a circus. This is an absolute circus. So having said that, I am pleading to all of you Canadians out there, please pay attention to this and ask yourself if this is worth fighting for, because this is normal now. This is the Canada that you live in, and this is not going away. Electing a new politician will not get rid of what we are dealing with now. The Canada that you remember, it's gone. Please accept that. In 2024, we are projected to see a record amount, beating last year, a record amount of Canadians, skilled labor, entrepreneurs, investment, leaving this country for other countries that they would consider normal or what they remember Canada as. There are options out there. Just keep that in mind while you watch this, because this is all the time now. You think of everything that is going on in Canada right now. Think about the carbon tax that was forced on struggling Canadians. You think about the division, you think about all of the groups, you think of the healthcare crisis, our education crisis, the drugs, the crime, the housing. You think about all of those, factor it in, and just watch this. It's unbelievable.
To give you one more slot before we wrap up today. We're still working on that. Mr. Brock, you have the floor for 5 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Moore, I am so grateful you're actually part of a panel with the Auditor General. In fact, you're sitting right next to Mr. Hayes, the Deputy Attorney General, Auditor General, I should say. Now, last week, about a week ago, exactly a week ago, I asked you a question. You couldn't answer the question. I wanted to know why you deliberately, your agency, the CBSA, not you personally, why the CBSA deliberately misled and lied to the Auditor General when saying that GC Strategies actually provided a proposal for the initial contract to work with the CBSA. That's what the CBSA confirmed to the Auditor General. The Auditor General confirmed that, in fact, that was false. So here's your opportunity to come clean to Canadians and to members of this committee. You, as a representative of the CBSA, why did you mislead the Auditor General?
So as a representative of the CBSA, I do not believe the CBSA did mislead the Auditor General. There were different choices at that time, and one of the choices was to have an in-house developed project using staff augmentation, which is the GC Strategies.
I'll stop you right there. Are you suggesting the Auditor General simply got it wrong? They looked for a proposal on the initial contract with CBSA that you said you had in your possession from GC Strategies, and they confirmed it wasn't there.
Well, I think what you're referring to is missing documentation, which I think has been subject to a number of different inquiries. Lots of different people have been looking for the documentation, and that is also part of the investigation to see whether the documentation is missing because of COVID or because of some other reason.
GC Strategy, specifically Mr. Firth, when he attended a few weeks ago, refused to answer questions regarding his involvement in the $25 million IT service contract, stating that responding to that question would somehow jeopardize the RCMP investigation. So we know through the Auditor General's report that I'm sure that you have read that GC, Government of Canada Strategies, was directly involved in the drafting, the narrow terms of that $25 million IT service contract.
Point of order,
Just one
Chair.
second, Mr. Brock.
Here
yes,
we go.
Ms. Shanahan.
Yeah, it's just on this Government of Canada that Mr. Brock is referring to. Is this an official name? I'm just
That's not a
it's
point.
GC Strategies.
Ms. Shanahan, that's not a point of order. If the witness is seeking clarity, they're entitled to ask, but not members. Mr. Brock, I don't know if you want to ask your question again. I'll give you time if you do. So
that's fine.
Please do.
For Ms. Shanahan's benefit, it was actually Mr. Firth himself who confirmed that the GC stands for Government of Canada. Not my words. Your witness, Ms. Shanahan, Mr. Firth. So, Mr. Firth, through GC Strategies, created their own terms, drafted their own contract, which surprisingly they actually won. 25 million tax dollars. Canadian taxpayer dollars. Who at CBSA allowed that to happen?
Well, I think, as I've said previously, it is unacceptable for...
No, sir, I know it's unacceptable. Everyone knows it's unacceptable. You're the one responsible. You're accountable for this mess. You're accountable for failures. Now provide us some answers. Who at the CBSA, I want names and I want positions, allowed Government of Canada Strategies to draft their own contract worth 25 million taxpayer dollars? Name, sir.
Well, that is, as I've said before, it's the Border Technologies and Innovation Directorate which were responsible for that.
Give me a name. Not a department, give me a name.
Well, the DG is Mr. MacDonald, and the Executive Director was Mr. Utano. They were responsible for drafting that statement of...
Are you saying it was Mr. MacDonald and Mr. Utano who allowed GC Strategies to write their own contract? Is that your evidence?
I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying that's what...
That's the question I'm putting to you, sir. How more simpler can I phrase it?
Chair.
Who at CBSA allowed this to happen?
I've taught Miss Khalid. What is your point of order?
With the years of experience we've had, we treat our witnesses with a little bit more respect than what Mr. Brock is treating our witnesses as right now.
That is not a point of order. Mr. Brock is trying to get an answer and is becoming, I think, rightly frustrated the way a lot of Canadians are. Mr. Brock, you have the floor again.
Sure.
Mr. Moore, let's not play games. The question is simple. Who, give me a name, at CBSA allowed Government of Canada Strategies to write their own contract, which they won, $25 million. Give me names, please.
Well, I think as I've already given you names, but they're...
And I asked you. You gave me names. You gave me Mr. MacDonald, Mr. Utano. I asked you, are they responsible for allowing GC to write the contract? You said no. So the question now is, sir, who at CBSA allowed it?
I said I do not know because it is under investigation, and that is a key part of the investigation internally.
How could you not know?
Point of order
How could
again,
you not
Mr.
know,
Chair.
sir?
Just 1 second, Mr. Brock. Yes, Miss Khalid.
This is a point of order on decorum. The witness has said time and time again he does not know there is ongoing investigations. Why are we badgering a witness?
Again, that is not a point of order, Chair.
That is absolutely a point of order, Chair. This is about decorum.
Miss Khalid, Mr. Brock's question was simple. Why don't you know? That's what that was his question. It seems to be a valid question. You might not like how it's posed.
I'm so sorry, Chair. I didn't know you became an agent for the Conservatives there. But
he's a Conservative MP.
To be fair, he's also the chair of this committee. Which begs of him to be nonpartisan in his deliberations in how we operate as a committee. Yes, it does.
Yes, Ms. Khalid, yes, it does. And I'll point out I've had my share of Conservative MPs who have whinged at some of the decisions I've made as well. So when I get it from both sides, I find myself right in the position I need to be. Ms. Khalid, Mr. Brock has the floor. His question was, why don't you know? That question is in order. Mr. Brock, you have about 40 seconds left.
So you can ask for 6 minutes the same question.
Okay, hold on. Miss Khalid, the more you talk, the more time I'm going to start. The more you talk, the more time Mr. Brock has, because you're running into his time to get questions going back and forth. So, Mr. Brock, you have the floor for 40 seconds.
Thank you, Chair. And I won't be silenced by Ms. Khalid or Ms. Shanahan or anyone on that Liberal bench, because these are relevant questions that Canadians want to know an answer to. So I'll ask it again for the 5th time, sir. Why do you not know who in particular allowed GC to write the terms of their own contract, given your position at the CBSA? And the question can go to Mr. Vleming as well. Why do you not know?
Actually, Mr. Hayes has helped me with the chronology in that Mr. MacDonald actually left the CBSA on the 23rd of April 2021, and the first competitive contract awarded to GC Strategies was on the 16th of May 2022. It is still subject to review of the independent of the investigations. Once that has
the investigation run by Mr. Lafleur.
Mr. Brock, your time is up. I'm afraid I will come back. To your bench. Ms. Khalid, you have the floor for 5 minutes, please.
This is what I was talking about. This is our government now. This is top tier government. Imagine being the witnesses there watching these politicians bicker at each other back and forth. We are extremely lucky to have experienced politicians like Larry Brock bringing light to this and showing what what proper justice looks like. We have a government that is investigating itself for wrongdoing. This is normal. How many scandals and how many investigations are ongoing right now? The government is investigating itself, digging up evidence on itself that it just won't provide. So then there is no conclusion. There is no justice. And this is what I'm saying to all of you is this your country that you want? Because there's other options, because this is not going away. The only way this will change is with complete collapse. And it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time because we're watching it in real time. We got 2 more years of this. Don't forget that. Justin Trudeau is not resigning. He's not going to get forced out from the inside because he just made a deal with all of them. They're going to extend the election. They all get their golden pensions. So they're all on board. Jagmeet Singh, same thing. Gets what he wants, these little golden carrots, and then he gets his retirement. While at the same time, all these politicians are double and triple dipping into the taxpayer piggy bank. They're all making a ridiculous amount of money. Is this what you want? All roads lead to Western independence. Seriously, I'm not joking. All the provinces need to break away and dissolve the federal government and get their own house in order, because right now the house is dysfunctional. They are all bickering and they are all fighting because of years of systemic corruption. And pretty much the only thing you can thank Justin Trudeau for is to bringing that to light. Because of his extreme incompetence, it's all out there. So now what are Canadians going to do about it? Look what happened in Alberta with the carbon tax protests that are still ongoing. It's ridiculous the amount of force that is being used on just a bunch of people peacefully protesting. The double standards are unbelievable. I'm going to keep you updated. I'm going to keep on digging into this, as well as the election interference stuff that's going on too. And that is just another thing. What's going to happen with our elections now? We're going to get no justice. Han Dong lied. Justin Trudeau said this morning, Canadians can be reassured that our investigation showed that the elections were free and fair. But at the same time, the investigations are still ongoing. How can they be both? How can you reassure Canadians that it was a legit election while still having investigations still ongoing? This is what I mean. The government is investigating itself, and it will do it till the end of time. Follow me on Substack and Spotify. All of you out there, like, share, and take care.